the harsh reality we never see. Families in this community left to bury teens, kids who never get to reach their full potential, taken away far too soon.
I mean, it can be difficult because many times you stand there at the casket and you sit there with the family and you're saying to yourself, this could be my child, this could be my son, my daughter, that we're sitting here making arrangements for. You sympathize with those families and you feel their pain and their hurt.
Marlon Gary has seen the pain, the loss, the heartache firsthand. The Columbus funeral director left to comfort families, parents dealing with unthinkable losses.
There's so many people that are impacted by that loss. Of course, the victim, they may have children that now don't have a father, a parent that no longer has a son or daughter, but then even the perpetrator, once he is apprehended and convicted, that's another family that does not have a father, a child, or a sibling.
Over the past few years, he's had a literal first-hand view, delivering kids to their final resting place.
We've had services for a couple families where that mother was burying her second or third child due to violence. So those are probably the ones that really impacted me the most.
Consider these disturbing numbers. In the past 3 years, 74 kids 18 years of age or younger killed in Columbus.
Just miss her so much.
Youngsters like 15-year-old Lovely Kendricks gunned down at Franklin Park in October of last year. Her family, like many, left with an unbearable loss.
It's a missing piece of the family. The hole in the heart, it's going to always be there.
It's an issue police are trying to get a grip on as well.
We're talking about 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds. We have to figure out what happened. We got to get to the root of the problem.
Nothing I do is going to nothing's going to bring their son or their daughter back. And that's what they wish for the most.
Gary with a stark message for kids headed down the wrong path.
You don't get 3 lives like you do in the video games. One wrong move, one wrong action can change life forever. Not just yours, but everyone around you.
Gary hopes his message is one that gets through to local teens. One wrong move, one wrong choice in life could land you behind bars or here in the cemetery. A ripple of pain and loss felt by families and entire communities. Rodney Dunigan reporting.
This is not a unit that's going to be rogue. There are several layers of oversight, including myself. And I ran a similar program in Detroit. And so I know what I don't want to see. I know what Chief Bryan doesn't want to see. And we know what the community does not want to see.
ABC6 digging for answers into the Columbus Police Department's new gang enforcement team. The pilot program has officially been in play on the streets since October. After deadly officer-involved incidents like the Tyree Nichols case in Memphis, there is concern about the oversight and strategy of specialized police units.
We have team coverage tonight, starting with Rodney Dunigan, who sat down with top police brass to ask who will be held accountable for the actions of this team.
And with this unit, the buck stops with you, basically.
The buck stops with me.
CPD First Assistant Chief LaShawna Potts states it plainly. The department's gang enforcement team is her responsibility.
I hold people accountable. And this unit knows going in what our expectations are. We're very clear. They're not going to be allowed to treat the citizens of Columbus any kind of way. But I'm not even worried about that because we've hand-selected these individuals for that very reason.
Following the fatal police beating of Tyree Nichols in Memphis and the elimination of the Scorpion unit there, specialized police teams are under scrutiny. Potts gave us insight on why the pilot program was started here. What is the strategy behind it?
To disrupt violent gangs in the city of Columbus. Their goal is to use intelligence, targeted enforcement.
Potts tells us the officers involved receive extensive education, including raid training and training in tactical surveillance. Can you see the concern among some people in the community with a unit like this? I mean, I know you say you have your safeguards, the training, but it's just whenever you think about units like this in the past getting in trouble in not only this department but other departments, can you see where there would be some concern?
There's a concern anytime you do enforcement actions, right? But I'll say this, speaking daily to mothers of murdered children, talking them and having them add members, sadly, to their group is why we're doing what we're doing. The gun violence and the gang violence in Columbus must stop, and so that comes with enforcement.
Potts indicates that all of the officers involved with the gang enforcement team are in uniform with body-worn cameras, stressing this will not be a rogue unit.
It's offensive to me to go back and talk about jump out boys that existed 20 years ago. The division learned from that, and we're not going backwards.
Walk me through exactly what they do.
Okay, so they use intelligence. We have, of course, without giving you our tactics, we have people who are specially trained on following gang members through social media and different things like that. This unit is the enforcement arm of that. So once we know and identify a gang group, they do the enforcement.
And when you say enforcement, arrests?
Arrests. If they're armed, charge them with the necessary lawful charges, and we see them in court.
Potts says the team has accounted for 131 felony arrests, 74 gang members arrested, 82 guns recovered, and 16 homicide suspects taken off the streets.
We've heard the citizens since we got here, and they talked about what are we going to do to reduce the gang and gun violence. We put together a team of highly trained, qualified police officers who are doing the work in the community already, and we just put them centralized.
Potts wouldn't reveal the number of officers on the team, confident though they will be on the front lines of crime reduction. Rodney Dunigan, ABC 6, on your side. Mike Johnson is taking his love for the sweet science and teaching kids how to not only stay composed and calculated in the ring, but also in the ultimate fight of life.
1, 2, 3, 4. Give me the jab. Give me the jab.
Coach Mike Johnson knows the ropes.
Give me the jab. Give me the jab.
Putting in the time, sweat, and effort to see these kids succeed.
Give me left hand, over left hand.
Never could he imagine throwing in the towel.
It teaches them to respect those, the teammates, to respect their parents, to respect the adults, and they'll get respect back. Really right back.
He's rolling with the punches, literally, taking his love of the sport and the community to change lives.
The hard work, we have to teach them hard work because that's what it's going to be and that's what's going to pay off.
The effort really making an impact. These kids packing quite the punch and dreaming big. When you tell people that you box, are they surprised?
Yes, very surprised, because they never know that a girl would be in boxing. They always think that it would be boys, so they would never, they always...
This group headed to nationals next week in Kansas City. Nationwide rankings on the line. Their future within arm's reach if they make the right decisions.
Give me the jab.
Confidence.
Confidence? Why is confidence so important?
Because they give you confidence so you can do better in the ring.
It's good defense, and it's good morale for the kids, to grow up knowing that they can do something positive. This is giving back, and we need that.
Johnson says keeping these kids on the right track is his main focus, and it's a fight he's planning to win. Rodney Dunigan reporting. The team leading this collective says the mission behind their work is a very important one, creating positive change within African American families and communities.
Everybody deserves to have their story told. Everybody deserves to have a voice.
Monday, we spent the day deep in the Linden community with community activist Jasmine Ayers discussing the bright potential of this neighborhood. People in certain communities aren't listened to.
Absolutely. The people in these communities are experts on what they need, and it's our job to listen and to create with them. Not to create around them.
Ayers, part of a team of community and corporate leaders, spearheading a new initiative, the Equity Collective, a collaboration led by allies in Columbus, along with black philanthropists like Adam Troy and Michael Robinson with Jewish Columbus.
We know that there's a host of reasons that have set the black community on the path that we're on. We feel like these are levers that really help reverse some of those issues and move the community forward.
It's a super opportunity for us to come together as a collective with a concentrated focus on community.
Their mission is to create resources and funding to create change within African American communities here. A big focus, home ownership and community leadership.
Linden offered fertile ground for us to be able to drop the Equity Collective initiative down into, and let's see how we grow it from there.
This is a chance for us to come together, those of us that are doing well, those of us that want to see the community advance, and just really bring our resources together to move the community forward.
The Equity Collective represents a partnership with Jewish Columbus. That organization has established a long-standing, sustainable philanthropic fund working to build a thriving Jewish community in Columbus.
I'm really proud to say that we're going to be launching something that I don't think this city has ever seen.
The program will initially focus here in the Linden community. The idea, creating that positive change and impact here and spreading out throughout the entire city. Rodney Dunigan reporting. Police, pastors, and the people all coming together for a discussion tonight aimed at finding solutions to any divisions between officers and the communities they serve.
Events like this create trauma. It triggers us to go back to pain from previous experiences.
Michael Young, pastor of City of Grace Church, focused on unity citywide. The congregation hosting a community conversation tonight following the death of Tyree Nichols in Memphis, an effort to bring police, city, and community leaders together.
I think it's important for people who are going to police, protect, and serve in our community to actually be a part of that community. It can't just be their job. It has to be something that they're vested in as well.
ABC6 has followed efforts by the mayor and top police brass to break down any walls between officers and the community, sitting down with those city leaders exclusively.
That's continuing to build and in some cases restore trust between the community and law enforcement.
Community involvement is key in being able to address a lot of the issues that we're seeing.
We're doing everything we can, partnering with every organization that will have us.
Pastor Young believes keeping the lines of communication open is key.
It's important for all of us to come together, band together, even if we disagree on some details along the way. I think having all parties at the table participating not in just the conversation, but the action plan is what's going to lead to a better and brighter future.
Tonight's forum at City of Grace starts at 7. It is open to the public. The pastor sees it as a great way for the community to address any concerns they may have with top leaders in the city. Rodney Dunigan reporting.